Look at that.
She was.
Well, good morning. Bobby Lee here from Hurricane Creek Farms. Good Christmas Eve morning. Merry Christmas, everyone. I know this video, of course, come out after Christmas Day, technically, but still Merry Christmas. Hope you all had a great one. Oh, that's not great. What we got going on here? Actually, it's been like this for a few days. All I can figure, of course, all the water coming off this building, the ground's soft. That leg, back corner there, gotten in the ground. So working on getting this feed out of this bin, get it at least mostly empty. So I'm actually gonna get a few buckets to take to the calves up the road, even though they've got the feed bin up there. Just kind of want to try to hurry up and get this one empty, get it straightened back up. I think what we'll do once we get it pretty close to empty, put a strap around it with the tractor and pull it back over. You know, taking caution not to bend up and damage it in any way. But anyway, we're gonna load some feed up and head up the road. Got a new contraption I want to show y'all too, and we're gonna see if it'll work in the way we think it might. Shoulder still bothering me just a little. All right, so what do we have here? It's a pallet puller, and actually I have to give our audience, one of you, sorry I can't remember who, to give a personal shout out, but had recommended this to use now that we have the bale bed to be able to pick up these tubs. We'll see if we can make this work. Obviously, which I'd even said, it was probably a mistake to even drop this tub here when I did, because these calves are only in here for like 5 more days. But we did anyway. Now we're gonna see if we can pick it up easily using the bale bed and that pallet puller, and yeah, get it moved to the next pasture. Actually worked quite beautifully. Be sure I get the check stuck in there. Yeah, well, better than I even expected. Chain off there. Yeah, okay, well, that worked as intended. So yeah, very inexpensive little purchase. And you know, when we got the tractor, you know, at home and whatnot, we can use the pallet forks and just the tractor, and don't necessarily have to worry about needing to use the bale bed. But whenever we do have it, or when we're needing to bring a tub down here to this crew, that might be handy. Calves, actually, you can see them. They may even hear us. They're coming this way, but I'm not going to drive that way. Well, it helps if I get in the front seat to drive off, because it's rougher than a cob going up that way. Where's my dogs? All right, missing 2 dogs. Come on, dogs. I see one. Drive up here and get them. Come here, Brownie. Come on, brown dog. Brown dog, come on. Come on, good dog. Come on, Arch. Come on, Archie, let's go. Let's go, get in. Sadie's the old veteran. She knew just to sit tight, no reason to jump out and whenever he doesn't ask you to. Yeah, the calves are confused. We were just way over there on that far ridge, and they saw us, so they came running that way to the gate. And then now we've driven around and we're back on this side. So, but yeah, the pallet puller worked great for loading that protein tub. So we're gonna push it off the back of the truck, put out these 4 buckets of feed. Come on, babies, come on, woo! See if these calves figure out that we're up here and there's feed if they wanna come eat it. Yeah, I don't know how long this pasture is gonna hold out. We're gonna go ahead and unload that protein tub, but I don't know how long they're gonna actually be in here. Still pretty good fescue, but it may only be another couple of weeks before we need to move them up to the front and start feeding a little hay. Well, let's see if I can get their attention. I do like to get a head count every day if at all possible. Ugh. Check on their mineral over here. They should be in plenty good shape here. Oh yeah. Oh, gotta watch these tree limbs, they poke your eye out. All right, we got their attention. Now we'll see if we can get a head count. Finally got them all pretty much trained. They come to the truck. And in cases like this morning, almost too well. Even when the truck's, a quarter mile away and not even in the right pasture. Come on, babies. All right, so those 3 stragglers right there make 46. So we are good to go. Beautiful day. Warmed up a little bit. It's gonna be like 50 today. Nice, sun is shining. We can get some stuff done. One, because tomorrow is Christmas Day. We don't want to be having to do extra chores on the holiday. We'll obviously still do our routine feeding and checking. 2, it's going to rain tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be I don't know, it's supposed to be a total washout, but I think it may rain most of the day even. So cows at home are out of hay. Anyway, but yeah, definitely want to get that done today before it gets muddy again. Okay, got a little hay put out. Yeah, good time to mention ag gear. Dillinger jacket on, perfect for these cool winter days. Hey, check out all the good stuff over there at aggearstore.com. 15% off with the discount code Hurricane, or you can follow the link in the video description like always. But yeah, put out 6 rolls of hay. They didn't just absolutely attack it. We had hay feeders have been pretty much empty for the last couple of days, but we haven't been unrolling a bale here and there. Won't unroll one today because, well, I'm afraid they would just keep eating out of the feeders. Anything we unroll, we want them to go ahead and eat, pretty quickly, so it doesn't just become bedding more or less. Radio just said most of our rain tomorrow, the heavier stuff is expected in the afternoon, which that's good. One, we'll get chores done in the morning before it gets super wet. 2, kind of anticipate the kids may have some gifts from Santa Claus that might be more appropriate for outdoor use. So anyway, let's see, it's about 10:30. Need to run into town, pick up some provisions for Christmas tomorrow. We're going to be doing a ribeye roast, prime rib, standing rib roast, whatever name you want to use. Prime rib's probably the name most people would go by. Of course, technically, the one we're getting, it's going to be a choice. It's not going to be a prime rib. But anyway, probably going to go through kind of some of that and how we do it. You'll kind of show y'all, do a little beef promotion in this video too. All right, so I want to show you what we have kind of made our Christmas tradition, and what I, obviously being a little biased, towards the beef industry, believe should probably be everyone's Christmas tradition, and not just Christmas. We're gonna make a ribeye roast. Actually, we have a couple of them, but show you which, just to start off, what we got here. We've got 2 actually. One's about 10.5 pounds, one's almost 6 pounds. and that is with the bones still on, with the fat cap still on, which I'm going to show you and kind of talk about why we don't cook with the bones on, and why we do want to trim that fat cap. And basically it comes down to it's the recipe that I originally found and followed, which I will try to put a link to that. If not, well, I'll have it in the description, and I'll probably try to put a clickable link right there. But gonna unpackage, and it's right now it's Christmas Eve. It is 2 p.m. We're gonna be cooking these roughly 24 hours from now. And I had told them I wanted the bones trimmed off and just tied back on. They did not trim the bones off, not a big deal. We will do that for both of these. I'll go ahead and take a sharp knife and cut right along the ribs, trim them off. Never actually had to do this in the past. And they always tie the bones back on because you pay a bone-in price, which of course is a little cheaper per pound than just buying it boneless. And two, it is nice to bring the ribs home because you can then use them for another meal, or some people like to make it gravy. I have never done that. I have made them into another meal. The gravy, I mean, is what I've never done. So we're gonna trim those bones off. And really don't worry too much about the fat on the bone side, but this fat cap on the top doesn't offer anything. That fat's on the outside. So obviously, of course, the intermuscular fat that really gives this its flavor, and a lot of this can be kind of tough out here, so we're going to trim most of that away. Yeah, that's your ribeye. That's what you really want. Let me trim this just a little more, but we will repeat the same process for the smaller roast. So now that I have them both trimmed, we're at a little over 7 pounds and really just about 3.5 pounds. So obviously you lose quite a bit when you take the ribs off and then trim that fat cap. So now we dry brine with just a little bit of kosher salt. And I'm not gonna discuss every single measurement. If you want those, you can click on the recipe link. Again, it's not my recipe, but just the one I use. But I believe it's a 1/2 teaspoon per pound of meat once it's trimmed. So this nearly 8-pounder, we got 4 teaspoons. Let's do this on all the surfaces of both roasts. Okay, so we got all our salt on there for our dry brine. Now we're going to tie it up with this, I guess you just call it butcher string. But basically we want to get this thing as round as we can get it so it'll cook evenly. So I got a bunch of string already pre-cut. Get her nice and oval as much as we can, nice and round, cylindrical, I guess maybe the better word for it. Of course, how exactly you tie these knots doesn't really matter. You're going to, you know, cut this off once you're done cooking, just before you slice it and serve it. Okay, so we have it dry brine or trimmed. Put our kosher salt on there for dry brining. Got them tied up. You know, immediately one issue we're going to have, or I shouldn't say issue, but you know, not only is our smaller one much shorter in length, which doesn't necessarily affect the cooking time and rate, but it is also smaller diameter. So you can already tell this one's going to cook faster, of course. Had it been the same, you know, diameter, just shorter, it probably would have cooked about the same time. So it presents options for us. You know, normally if I have a guest that wants their steak medium well, we politely but firmly ask them to leave. Tomorrow will be Christmas Day, so we're not going to do that. So we could cook them virtually the same time. That one would be where we're going for like very medium rare on our primary piece of meat. This one may end up more like medium well, or what I'll probably do, because I can't stand the thought of ruining a piece of meat, is we'll just have to have a thermometer probe in each of those. Maybe pull that one off a little sooner. But that's pretty much it for today. We're gonna pop these in the refrigerator. And here in about 24 hours, we'll be back to actually get to the cooking process. Okay, Merry Christmas, everyone. We have fast forwarded about 24 hours, just about exactly, since we started to dry brine our meat. We got the green egg, our smoker, just about ready. We've prepared our rub, and obviously we're going to rub it into the meat. Again, I won't bore you with all the details of the recipe and whatnot, but yeah, we're doing this just right before we put it on the grill. A lot of people may think, oh, you need it to sit and marinate. Well, as the details of that recipe will tell you, it doesn't penetrate the meat. There's no need to do it, way ahead of time. I don't know if there's any harm in doing it a little further ahead of time, but there's no real benefit. So just rubbing that on all our surfaces, and I'm gonna repeat the same thing on our smaller one here. This rub basically just forms the crust on the outside. So, all right, got that well in place. Got just a little left over. All right. Okay, so our cooking surface temperature is not quite up where we want it yet. It's about 170. We want to cook this about 215, 225. But we're kind of slowly increasing the airflow to the grill. We'll get it up there. I'm gonna go ahead and place the meat on here. We'll get that temperature up over these next, I don't know, probably 20 or 30 minutes. But you can also see, got my drip pan in there, got some beef broth, a little bit of red wine, some garlic, cloves that we've smashed, and a little rosemary. That makes a nice au jus to serve with once it's done. So, all right. I like this little V-Rax. It actually, I didn't think it was going to be able to hold both, but it is, because we've got this smaller roast. We're going to go ahead and put one probe in there. I'm going to put my meter probe in the other. These Meter Pluses, I love them. Really neat product. Gives me both the ambient temp of the cook and the internal temperature, or well, whatever meat you got on there. In this case, of course, the ribeye roast. So, all right, we're gonna shut it. Of course, we've got the dome thermometer on here. That's a good kind of reference point, but I don't ever totally trust that. I definitely recommend having a probe that you put on the cooking surface to tell you exactly what the temperature is right there at the meat. Again, that meter is pretty fantastic. And I've got this older one. It's a wired. But anyway, all right. Yeah, meat temperature is 34 degrees on the smaller one. To pull up my app, start to cook. And our internal temperature, well, we've lost it. I didn't have it charged, so I'm gonna have to pull that out. I'm gonna charge it a little while. Yeah, best laid plans. And we'll let it charge for an hour or two. And then that bigger roast shouldn't get done before the other one. So, all right. Yep, sure as you're filming something, something's gonna go wrong. So pull that out of there, put it back in the charging block, and then we'll just rely on that other probe for now. Check back with y'all here in a little while. All right, both pieces of meat have hit 115 degrees. Pull that probe out of there. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna leave it in there. Yes, hit 115. You're probably thinking to yourself, "Oh gosh, that's not done." And you're right, it's not. But what we're gonna do, pulling the meat off, wrapping it up. And I pull that probe out because it got my aluminum foil. Wrap the meat up. Just keep it from cooling down too much. We're gonna pull our heat deflector out. We're gonna go to direct heat cooking there in our drip pan. I don't know if you can see without me tilting it. That's gonna be our au jus. Let's set this aside. Yeah, that au jus looks fantastic. Pull that out of there. I got my gloves on. Okay. So yeah, now we're gonna run the grill temperature on up to, actually I may even throw a little more charcoal on there, on up to like 400 or 500 degrees. And I may not film this just because, I mean, it's just searing it. But basically, of course, because those things are kind of cylindrical, we'll sear it on all 4 sides for like 5 minutes per side. So in that 20 minutes or so of searing, sometimes I go a little less just because I don't want it to be overdone. Basically, we'll get it up to that 130, 133, somewhere in there for a good medium rare. And then too, I mean, it's only 445, so get the grill up. You know, these are gonna be done before we're ready to eat, but we'll just wrap them after they're seared, throw them back in the cooler, and they'll stay perfect until we pull them out and slice them. And I said I was done, but apparently I just like to talk. Didn't want to turn this into a 30-minute video, but other reason we put some more charcoal in here, because besides just doing that 15 to 20 minute sear that we'll do for these things, we shot a couple of ducks yesterday morning. I'll throw some duck on here, like some little duck poppers for a little appetizer. We're pairing it with some, we've got some shrimp cocktail, also twice baked potatoes, I think, wedge salad, some cream spinach. We try to do it up for the Christmas holiday. Got some nice wine to pair it with, a couple of good Cabernets. Yeah, we're gonna do it up, but yeah, I'm hoping this helps. I mean, again, obviously, we always say eat beef and God bless. Hey, if you've ever been intimidated by cooking a $150, $200 piece of meat, which you can, that smaller one was what, like 65 bucks? Hey, don't be. This is, I mean, I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm pretty confident if it turns out even remotely as good as it has in the past, it's gonna be fantastic. So, all right, now I'm done until we get to searing. Okay, so got the grill going again pretty good. Wrap it. Throw that here in our aluminum foil. I'll save that foil because we'll use it again here in a few minutes. And we're done searing it, but before we serve. We've been fortunate the rain has held off for us today, for the most part. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, we'll sear them 3 to 4 sides, just depending. While I'm waiting on that, I'm gonna go build my duck poppers.
But yes,
Moment of truth.
I know. Really.
I didn't realize that she was about as well as I thought she was. That's cool.
Look at that.
She was like
Merry Christmas, y'all. Eat beef and God bless.
He's got a private call.